Alright boys and girls, with the positive feedback from the last story time video I did, I reckon, why not do it again? But with a stupid doodle of me to make things more fun. Now I'm going to be honest, I didn't draw these. I know, I'm sorry. But let me show you what happens when I try to draw. Ugh, never let me do that again. Oh, and before we start, the title of the video may seem like I was a total dunce in school, but wait until I tell you the full story. I didn't drop out twice for being like Mario. It was for completely different reasons. But first, we're gonna need to go back in time. That's too far back. School. The place where all kids go to repent their sins for playing too many video games. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're all in the same boat in that school is a total chore to do. I mean, the only memories I have is doing dumb things with friends. Any other memory is just pain. I mean, forgetful. And I'm 99% positive I've forgotten everything I've learned. But hey, you don't need maths when you're doing this. Throughout my high school life, I was pretty much the same as I am now, but maybe 50% smaller and maybe 50% fatter. I was shy, I didn't want to get in trouble, but my mom was super strict on wanting me to have a bright future, so there was a lot of studying. Yep. Before I get into specifics, I need to apologize to my American fans because their school system confuses me. Australia doesn't have the whole elementary school, middle school, and high school system. We pretty much only have elementary and high school. It's really weird, but I have a solution for everyone that'll make things easier to understand. We're going to categorize my early years of school as the Weenie Hut Junior stage of my school life, and everything else after that is the Salty Spittoon stage of my life. Easy to understand? Great! Early years of school is like a free holiday, You just go in, throw your bag on the ground, and start eating glue. Sure, there's homework and show and tell, but you could show a stick in the class with applause. That's super easy. I'm jealous of how easy it was back then. At the same time, it's where you face big trials for the first time. On the first day of school, for example, Kevin, who was in the same school as me and in a much older grade, he was looking after me. They had this whole buddy system where an older student would pair and look after a kindergartner, and Kevin just happened to be my buddy. And when it came to Kevin having to leave me to go to class and I'm all alone by myself with a bunch of strangers, I would feel like Tom Hanks in the movie Castaways.
Well done!
Felt like he was never coming back. So even back then, I needed Kevin to hide behind. My fear of change and socializing also affected me not making any friends, nor participating in any sport. So my Weenie Hut Junior days were very uneventful. I mean, I remember throwing one of those tech deck skateboards onto someone's head accidentally. But yeah, that pretty much sums up my early school life. I drew a penis on the whiteboard. High school, or the Salty Spittoon stage of my life.
The stage where it all began.
When I think of transitioning to high school, or this stage of school, I think of a happy kid all ready to go. Oh boy, today I turn into a big boy! Then an adult version of the kid walks up to him and says, "It's all down here for me, buddy." And then he kicks the kid off a cliff. Homework gets multiplied by 6, everyone turns into buttholes, and you're just staring at the clock going, "Come on, let it end, please!" Obviously, school experiences depend on what kind of school you go to. I attended a boys-only school, and they were pretty strict with bullying and uniform. If you had an untucked shirt, it's off to the shadow realm for you! Of course, no school can escape its fair shares of fights or just plain rowdy students. Luckily for me, I found friends that would put up with my crap. Now that I think about it, everyone in my cohort seemed to know me in a friendly sense, I made a lot of dumb jokes, I didn't piss anyone off, I just paid attention in class while everyone else just played flash games at the back of class. For some reason, I was so well known in my cohort that I got a nickname, Squidge. Why the hell Squidge? Because the witch in my last name, Ludwichigal, rhymes with Squidge. So my name unofficially became Luke Ludwichigal, or Squidge. I don't know why people generally liked me. It's strange, really. Regardless, I wasn't good at all the classes, but my mum was really pushing for good grades, so I tried my hardest in all the subjects. So I don't waste too much time, I'll put on screen what subjects I did enjoy. Oh yeah, I also learned Italian. Pizza! But I think I learned more Italian from Mario than I did from school. Speaking of Mario, it was in 7th grade where I began to start this, this little thing. I don't know if you've heard of it before, but it's called SMG4. Yeah, so on top of schoolwork, can you imagine doing videos as well? My weekly schedule sort of looked like this. School, 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 memes, memes, school, school, school. Whereas nowadays, my schedule sort of looks like this. Memes, 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 memes. Man, you guys have no idea how annoying it is when people keep asking about your channel at school. You guys know how many times my friends kept yelling at me, "Are you the real SMG4? SMG4, put me in your videos!" Anyway, even with all these memes to make, I was still able to do school normally. I actually never missed an upload either. The only times where I missed an upload was if I had exams. Do you guys know the extent of how persistent I am? Get this. I never missed a single day of high school. Not a single one. That's grade 7 to 12. 6 years of not missing a single day of school. Oh man, I remember going in sick to school because I didn't want to break my streak. Jesus, I am a dumbass. But hey, at least the school gave me an award for it. I remember people coming up to me and saying, "You really haven't missed a day?" And I was like, what, that's not normal? I swear I'm not an alien, guys. This persistence really did help me for my final exams. Australia, or at least my state, paints doing these final exams as a pass or die situation. It scares all the students and makes them think it's the apocalypse when it's really not. Regardless, I studied super hard in this small room that was in the back of our parents' house. Except, imagine all this furniture wasn't here. It was just a grungy, dark, rectangular box. But it's also where I got 1 million subs, so woohoo! Eventually, all that hell was over, and I got a good score going into college. We're now in 2017, where, you know, SMG4 is doing well, and Kevin and I were teasing to do a little project that would eventually become Meta Runner, our original animated series. I'm now attending a pretty nifty university studying media arts. I don't even know what that meant, but every other course in the college had like 0 things I was interested in, and this particular one mentioned the word animation in games somewhere in there. So I went with it, and oh boy, it was a nightmare for me. Not because of the school or people, but because it was nothing that I wanted to do. We studied film, culture of online multimedia, but it was all essays and research. And if it's one thing I hate doing, it's writing essays. Look, I'm not a very bright dude, but I enjoy doing practical things, like making visual content. And 98% of my degree had none of that. Great! And even if there was stuff like video making or practical work, I felt like I was going nowhere. It's all these pointless art exercises where you're meant to express how I feel. But I want to make cool things, goddammit, not this! College also forces you to take different classes with different students a lot.
Who are you people?
So, it's very hard to befriend people when they just disappear until you have that class again in like 3 weeks. The only way to actually make friends is to join clubs, but you know Luke and his lack of wanting to socialize. Oh, you, Luke. So it became pretty lonely too, which didn't help. But there was a silver lining in all of this. What is it? Well, there was a small course that offered to teach actual animation. And it was here where I got into a glimpse of this magical art form. I wasn't really doing any animation on SMG4, and Meta Runner was still being planned. So it was all new to me, and I enjoyed every bit of it. It's the feeling of bringing something to life that made me enjoy doing animation. Hey, if I can make a ball look like it's about to fall in love with another ball, then that's amazing. Later on, I was working on an SMG4 video, The Ultimate Smash Bros, which is a great music video we made, so you should definitely check it out. I was working on this video at the time, but then it hit me. What if I applied what I was learning with animation to SMG4? I mean, I had this animation tool in Gmod. It had these things called keyframes, which is what I used in animation class. Then BAM! That video went on to be the first video with animation. Shortly after it, I fully used the potential of this with the video If Mario Was in Splatoon. It was a big reason why Maggie is animated all the time. I really wanted to challenge myself, and I was having a blast with it. Alas, this didn't help with the amount of boring ass crap I had to deal with the rest of my university degree. I almost missed out on our first trip to E3 because of uni exams, and if I hadn't gone, we wouldn't have met so many wonderful people over there. My brother Kevin really saw the discontent I was having with university, but he knew the joy I had when I was learning animation. He then asked me a very important question.
Would you want to do this as a career?
If you guys have ever seen The Matrix where the dude asks Keanu Reeves, do you want the blue pill or the red pill? Yeah, that's how I felt. And I answered yes to that question. It was a big decision, but Kevin knew that I would never even consider this because my parents always viewed me as having a more academic job, and I would be way too afraid to ask. But he went ahead anyway, and it was a tough battle, but he managed to convince him, that massive legend. So anyway, that's when I dropped out of university. Only half a semester into my first term, and I quit. I went straight to this art college where I learned 3D art, modeling, texturing, and all that jazz, and it was great! All practical learning and barely any writing. I learned and entered an industry that I didn't know I would come to love at the time. I met and made friends with plenty of like-minded people. It also helped me greatly when it came to making Meta Runner. Speaking of that, it was already in the middle of production at the time, and I was deep into helping the art team with stuff, so I was pretty busy, living 3 lives. of a meme lord, a creative director, and an art student. It was when we got to major group projects in the middle of the first year when I realized, wait, I'm already doing a major group project called Meta Runner. I should spend my time on stuff that's actually going to mean something. And that also means more time on SMG4. Who doesn't like that? And so, I dropped out. Again. And I've only ever been working on YouTube stuff ever since. You know, it's funny that almost every story I hear from someone who's in university is that they hate their degree, but they have to do it because they already put years into doing it. Or they just chose a degree because they didn't know what to do, and they just want to live, you know, the student lives. So they can just not focus on anything and just chill. That stuff can easily be avoided if people aim to go towards something they actually want to do from the very beginning. I'm extremely lucky and appreciative to have YouTube and you guys. You all give me a clear goal to work towards and motivation to improve. I'm also very grateful to Kevin and my family who are very understanding in what I do and what I want to achieve. If I hadn't followed what I wanted, I'd probably still be doing boring ass essays and have less time to do YouTube. I definitely wouldn't be where I am today. In saying all of this, don't copy what I did. I had a very specific set of circumstances around me with YouTube and whatnot. So don't straight up go to your parents and ask to drop out or whatever. Just keep in mind what you enjoy or want to do now. And maybe use that passion to train and to open up new paths later down the line. And if you do want to shift towards something else, then take a long hard look at the facts before you make a decision. Remember, only you get to decide what you think is the correct answer. But I hope you learned something out of this stupid little video. And with that, thanks for watching guys. Let me know what you think of the stories and the doodles. See ya!